गौरंग जय निताई गौरंग निताई गौरंग जय निताई गौरंग जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय मुष्टकाचार्यस्तु परिषद श्री श्री वै चरणारविंद भक्ति विलास स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद नंददेव तुलसी महारानी की जय दरा श्रीमद् भागवत की जय ताय गो कुरंदे गो ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायण नमस्ते शिवनरोत्तमं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिके. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, answers by citing the Lord's version, text number 25. Brahmovacha Bhagavan Sarvabhutana Adhyaksho Avastito Guham Vedahi Apatiruddhena Vedahi Apratiruddhena Prajnanena Chikeshitam. Brahmovacha Bhagavan Sarvabhutana Adhyaksho Avastito Guham Vedahi Apratiruddhena Prajnanena Chikeshitam. Brahmovacha Bhagavan Prajnanena Chikeshitam. Brahmovacha Brahma What would meaning? Brahmavacha, Lord Brahma said, Bhagavan, oh my Lord, Sarvabhutana, of all living, Adhyakshaha, director, Avastitaha, situated, Guham, within the heart, Veda, no, he certainly, Apratiruddhena, without hindrance, prajnanena, by superintelligence, chikeshitam, endeavors. Translation purport by Yuan Sabai Chinnar with the Bhaktivedanta response to Prabhupada. Translation. Lord Brahma said, I will read myself first. Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as Supreme Director, and therefore you are aware of all endeavors of your superior intelligence, by your superior intelligence, without any hindrance whatsoever. Is the translation. Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as a supreme director. And therefore, you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. Perfect. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the Lord is situated in everyone's heart as the witness. And as such, he is the supreme director of sanction. The director is not the enjoyer of the fruits of action. For without the Lord's sanction, no one can enjoy. For example, in a prohibited area, a habituated drunkard puts forward his application to the director of drinking. And the director, considering his case, sanctions only a certain amount of liquor for drinking. Similarly, the whole material world is full of many drunkards. In the sense that each and every one of the living entities has something in his mind to enjoy. And everyone desires the fulfillment of his desires very strongly. The Almighty Lord, being very kind to the living entity, as the Father is kind to the Son, fulfills the living entity's desire for a childish satisfaction. With such desires in mind, the living entity does not actually enjoy, but he serves the bodily whims unnecessarily, without profit. The drunkard does not derive any profit out of drinking, but because he has become a servant of the drinking habit and does not wish to get out of it, the merciful Lord gives him all facilities to fulfill such desires. The impersonalists recommend that one should become desireless, and others recommend banishing desires altogether. That is impossible. No one can banish desires altogether because desiring is the living symptom. Without having desires, the living entity would be dead, which he is not. Therefore, living conditions and desires to go together. Perfection of desires may be achieved when desires to serve the Lord, and the Lord also may be achieved when one desires to serve the Lord. And the Lord also desires that every living entity banish all personal desires and cooperate with his desires. And that is the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita. Brahmaji agreed to this proposal, and therefore he is given the responsible post of creating generations in the vacant universe. Oneness with the Lord therefore consists of dovetailing one's desire, the desires of the Supreme. That makes the perfection of all desires. Ishtai Guru. The Lord, as the super soul in the heart of every living being, knows what is in the mind of each living entity. And no one can do anything without the knowledge of the Lord within. By his superior intelligence, the Lord gives everyone the chance of fulfilling his desires to the fullest extent. And the resultant reaction is also avoided by the Lord. This is the purpose. Om Jnanadamiranandasya Nandanashlakya Chakshorvedam Yena Ismai Shri Gurave Namah Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nam Namaste Saraswati Devi Bhagavani Pajani Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Kancha Deshata Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare. So Brahma declaring the position of the Lord. And the position of the living entity in this life. Who can be the authority to speak on this subject matter about the Supreme Islamic Godhead? Brahmaji, the first living entity in this universe, was born from Lord Vishnu's body in the novel of the Lord Vishnu, and who had great fortune to have darshan of the Lord. First received the instruction, then by following that instruction he had is blessed to have darshan of the Lord. Then further he received the complete knowledge for purpose of executing his responsibilities. That's what Prabhupada said here. That he has made Brahmaji. Brahmaji has agreed to this proposal, and therefore he is given the responsible post of creating generations in the way. So it is about the secondary creation. So what is that Brahma is addressing? The Lord Bhagavan Sarvabhutana Adhyakshaha Avastito Bhuva. That, O Lord, you are situated in every living entity's heart as a supreme director, Adhyakshataha, and also you are the one who is knower of all the endeavors of every living entity, the higher intelligence, the superior intelligence, without any complaints. So Krishna is situated in everybody's heart. Sarvascha Aham Pradesannavishta. And he is directing, he is giving every direction to the living entities. Everything comes from the Lord. So then, if everything is coming from the Lord, then it should be, say, for example, today you see, the government is giving so many facilities to the citizens. Now to reach out what all the facilities government is providing to the citizens. So much of endeavor they are taking to reach out to the people. They go, now we are giving this, we are giving this, we are giving less or that. Um, घर घर में नल का पानी something. Every house is having tap water, and every house is supplied with a cylinder, LPG cylinder. So one thing is they are doing it. Second thing is they are also reaching it out, that promoting that because people have a tendency, they receive it and they don't recognize it. They receive it and they don't recognize it. Exactly our position. The Lord is supplying everything. Whatever facility, including, of course, everything is coming from the Lord. Everything is coming from the Lord because everything is ingredient, is the energy of the Lord. But we think that, take it for granted. Well, so when we recognize the source of all these things, then our behavior conduct is going to be a little different from. There's so many times they say, yeah, Ayodhya, useless. They can't tell any. Sometimes some people, we try to categorize. But actually, in Shastra, it said that Ayogyo Purusho Nasti, there is no person who is Ayogya. There is no person who is useless. It said that Amantram Akshram Nasti, Nasti Moolam Anaushadam, Ayogyo Purusham Nasti, Yojakaha Tattradam. What is lacking? What is rare? What is scarcity in this world is Yojaka. Then one who can make you understand all this subject. Amantram Aksharam Nasti. There's no akshara, there's no syllable which is not going to act as a mantra. A mantra. Mantra. A mantra means not being mantra. There's no syllable which is not going to act as a mantra. That's why we say Rama is the mantra because the Lord's name. Now some people say Rama. In that also Rama is there. Some people say Sai Ram. In that also Rama is there. So that's how a person who is familiar with the subject matter, everything he take it for his favor. That's all. Nasti Moolam Anaushadam. Aushada. Anaushada. There's no root or the plantation which is not going to act as a. See, nowadays so many doctors. But if you go in the olden days, the villages, now every household is a doctor. Of course, if it is a major thing, you'll go to some, little more expert way. Yeah, otherwise, we go. Recently, I visited near the Statue of Unity on ISKCON temple in their own village, Nandagram. Some 18, 20 people are living one national lifestyle. No mobile, no electricity, nothing. Totally disconnected from it. So the 18 families. So he was taking us to that field. He is explaining every plant. We get cut. What this is the plant we use. If you have some problem, this is the plant. If you have digestion problem, this is. If you have headache, this is the plant. He's not a doctor. He's just a devotee. He's doing KTM farming. And all the plants what I was seeing there is all very much familiar because I also from the village background and now from farming background. All these things are very naturally available. It's not cultivated or anything like naturally grows in the field. But today, what is lacking is people who are familiar how to use such, plants as Aushadhi. So likewise, Yogyo Purusha. There is no person who is useless, like generally we say. And people are spending time uselessly. But what is lacking in this world is Yojaka Tatta Durlava. The one Yojaka, the one who can stitch all these things together and make people understand. And we are really so fortunate to have the Prabhupada as a spiritual master who is coming from the parampara of very Brahmaji himself. And Brahma is declaring here that Krishna, Supreme Personality Godhead, is situated in everybody's heart as a director. And what is that? Prabhupada very nicely elaborates in this purport that every living entities have desires to fulfill. Now, the spiritualists are trying to say that no, the desires are the cause for entanglement. So, better to stop all the desires. No, activities are the cause for the entanglement, but activities are performed based on the desires. So, the root cause is desire, that's it. But Prabhupada gives very nice explanation here that no, desires are not coming from the mind. Desires are the symptoms of living entity. Mind is only a godam of experiences, the storehouse. It can store and also it can pop up, can bring it out based on the place, circumstances, situations. So it doesn't have ability to desire. It can only based on the inputs to the senses, it can bring it out. Some time back you heard this painting is made by so-and-so devotee, so-and-so name. It is stored in the mind. Now somebody asks you, who painted this? So immediately you heard from your ears. Now processing happened in the mind and bring back that name. So it has the ability to store and it has the ability to bring out at the right time. And this is what exactly Krishna is saying. Matta smritir jnanam apokamcha. He's saying, I give the ability to smriti, to remember. And apohanam, certain things you have to forget also, otherwise your life will become miserable. If somebody passed away, somebody is very near you, your mother, father, somebody passed. A day or two, people will, so much of morosity, so much of sad. If that sorrow continues, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 it doesn't, I would say, come down. One day without eating, you can survive. 2 days, 3 days, a week, month, not will survive. So the effect of emotional turmoil has to come down slowly or quickly. So Krishna is giving it's everything comes from me. So everything is directed. That's what actually Brahmaji is saying. Adhyakshaha. Everything is directed. He is directing, living in his heart, and as the supreme director, he is facilitating everything. So mind doesn't have the independent ability to decide. Mind only stores and brings it out. Then what is the fact? This desire is the faculty of the soul. But the soul's desire, to express the soul's desire in this material world, you require external facility. And that external facility is the body. And body has two components, Sukshma and Stula, gross and subtle. Gross body, now which is visible and also identified through the senses. And subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego, identifying ones. So these desires are expressed through this external body. Now, no, it is my desire. That means that myness is actually the mind. That's my desire when we say that my is identified as this body as my is identified. The designation which falls. So that is not actually your desire. So to say, it's not the body desire. It is not the one whom you are identifying with today, but it is your own desire. So what is that one desire? Then why I am desiring the attraction to the material objects? Yayate Vishantamsa Sangaste Shopajaya. Sangaha. I'm getting attached, attracted towards the material objects when I meditate on it. So then why I'm getting attracted to material objects if it's not going to be happiness, as Prabhupada said here? No, there's no happiness. Like a drunkard is drinking, he's satisfying his desire. But that is not true happiness. He's not at all benefiting him. But he is under the impression that he's happy. He's getting happiness. Why such kind of these things? It is my desire. And when I get fulfilled, I should be happy. Now, it is your desire, but the desire was presented through polluted environment, polluted consciousness. That's called chitta. Chitta means polluted consciousness. So that is presented through. So that's all. The whole yoga process is actually given for the purpose of discover who am I, and the director who is sitting in the heart to recognize myself and also to recognize the person as a director who is sitting in my heart to very purpose for the purpose of directing me to the right direction. That is the purpose. Because Lord Vishnu is a plenary representation of Krishna. Localized form of Vishnu is a Paramatma, is a plenary representative of Krishna, dwelling within one's heart. So, the purpose of yoga, the purpose of jnana, the purpose of all the activities, the results of that activities, to know the ultimate source of everything, that is Krishna. So Krishna is the ultimate goal of life. And Vishnu, who is situated in the heart, is the object of yoga practice. And in the Bhagavad Gita, it said that if we wanted to perform yoga, the first and foremost principle is, starts from yama, niyama, then comes further asanas and pranayama. It continues. But first and foremost is yama and niyama. Rules and regulations. Without rules and regulations, whatever practices you do, that all have very superficial or surface level benefits. Like, for example, people today yoga means they're considering as a asanas and pranayama is considered as yoga. So if people perform asanas, and naturally they'll gain some health, good health. But what is the use of health? Having health, if you don't know the purpose of, say, for example, you are going to railway station. You rushed so. You took a taxi and reached railway station on time. Then suddenly phone call came. Reached the station. You're just about to go to the platform. Then phone call came. Some serious phone call. Start talking. Then When you are talking in front of you, no, Moongfali ki gadi jalpa, or somebody come to say. Then we're talking because Moongfali you like it, roasted Moongfali you like very much. Then we're talking on it. Give one. That's two base to Call is going on. Moongfali aap na gaya. Started eating. Train is going. Train left. Call got over. So the train is left. You are busy in the call. You are busy in Moongfali. क्या मूंगफली खाने के लिए गए क्या रेलवे स्टेशन? So what happens? Your very purpose why you went to railway station is forgotten by occupying with other activities. Apparently, there also that is also like call. It is important call, but how important? It is important that much important even to miss the train. When you are leaving here, we have to perform some duties, but whether we have to forget the very purpose of human form of life, why we are performing so-called material duties when we are here. So Shastra says, Kalakshepam na kartavyaha. Don't waste your time in material duties. Kalakshepam na kartavyaha. Kartavya means duties, material duties. Why? Why? Shinam ayu kshane kshane. Every moment your ayu is reducing. And further, yamasya karuna nasti. Yamasya karuna nasti. He doesn't show any compassion to anybody. Time to utha ke leke jaye. Then what are you supposed to do? Kartavyam harikirtanam. Kartavyam harikirtanam. So our the duties, the real duties is harikirtanam. Glorify the Lord. How can we glorify the Lord without even knowing who He is? So for that, we have to have yojaka. We have to have that one qualified person who can present the Lord to our lives. So today, people are very much interested to take some surface level benefits from this yoga practice of asana and the pranayama. Beyond that, they don't. And that also, they don't start from beginning. See, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, it is said. Purusharthas, four Purusharthas. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And how people understand this? The people understand this is dharma, artha, kama, moksha as dharma is meant for artha. Artha is meant for kama. When you do get frustrated in kama, fulfilling desires, then you'll 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 tend towards, you'll move towards moksha. This is the way people understand. Dharma is meant for economic development. Economic development is meant for now for enjoyment, for fulfilling the desires. And when you don't, when you're not able to fulfill the desires, or when you got frustrated in fulfilling desires, that won't happen anyway. Because dukkha it is meant for dukkha. How can everything can be fulfilled here? Then moksha. But Bhagavatam says something else. No. Dharma is not meant for artha, is not meant for economic development, and artha is not meant for kama, and kama is not meant for gratifying your senses. But this is what other people understand the other side, other way. Where it says Bhagavatam. Dharmahasya apavargasya narto artha yopakalpate. Then arthasya kamasya in that sloka. Dharmasya. So it says that dharmasya apavargas. Dharma is not meant for artha, is not meant for economic development. Apavargas. Apavargas means coming out of this pavarga. Material world is described as power. Parishrama, Fena, Parishrama, hard work, Fena, getting formed by hard labor, where the being dissatisfied, fear, and mrityu. Ultimately, at the end is mrityu. So, this is the nature of this material world. Apavargasya, you have to come out of this. Dharmasya apavargasya. Nartho arthayo pakalpati is not meant for artha, it's not meant for economic development. It's meant for. What is the next line? Nartha say dharmaikants. Dharma is that artha, whatever you get, is not meant for commerce, it's not meant for fulfilling desires. So people have misunderstood. So the yoga practice, people understood, oh, it's meant for to get health benefit. It's meant for living longer period. Pranayama, meant to live for long. Even that you can achieve. No, that is not meant for that purpose. That is all the side byproducts. By the way, it's a byproduct. It's not meant for that. The person who succeeded in asanas and pranayama, he'll go to the next level. But he will never be able to succeed in today's the modern age because he doesn't perform even this asanas and pranayama. No, he starts that as the beginning, first step and second step, but actually third and fourth step. What is the first step and second step? Yama and niyama. So this is what Krishna focuses in the sixth chapter. He explains yoga, how yoga practice should be performed. First you practice yama and niyama, the rules and regulations. What are the rules and regulations of practice? Yoga, first and foremost, is to realize and the end result, the conclusion of the samadhi, the yoga, the perfection of yoga is samadhi. Being understanding, realizing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who is there in the Paramatma, in everybody's heart, as a director, as a guide. And today, what is lacking today is, for the people, they don't have proper direction. They are trying to visualize, they are trying to find their own means from their polluted consciousness. Thinking that is my desire, thinking that is my intelligence. Even intelligence has to come from the Lord. Even Krishna says, I will give the intelligence. What is sloka? No. He said, Dadami Buddhyoga. I will give intelligence. Dadami Buddhyoga from Yenamama. Smriti has to come from him. Forgetfulness has to come from him. Buddhi has to come from him. But today we are thinking, is my intelligence, so I will find out ways and means. So to realize that Paramatma, who is situated in everybody's heart, as a director, as a guide, he has to completely abstain from, he has to perform yoga, and to perform that yoga, first and foremost, niyama is that he has to abstain from sex. A person who is indulged in sex life, he is not qualified to become yogi. Therefore, it's said in the Bhagavad Gita that one has to leave home and live alone in a secluded place, remaining seated, in a particular place of sitting in a posture. So Prabhupada also said that one cannot enjoy sex life daily at home or elsewhere and attend so-called yoga class and thus become a yogi. One has to practice controlling the mind and avoiding all kinds of sense gratification, of which sex life is the chief, strongest. So the rules of celibacy written by his Prabhupada, of course, written by Agnavalkya, said, Karmana manasa vacha sarvavastitau sarvada sarvatra maituna tyago brahmacharyam prachakshate. Brahmacharya prachaksha. The vow of brahmacharya is meant to help one completely abstain from sex, indulgence of work, words, mind, all the times, in all circumstances, in all places. So, and that was the kind of system in Vedic culture, Vedic society. From very childhood, these brahmacharya principles were taught. When even children don't even know what is a sex life, from that time it was taught. When they become matured, when they become adults, when because the body has a by age, by this, the body brings out at different time intervals, different kind of desires, because all stored in the mind. It comes out because the mind also has the ability to pop up at a different, the body, when body develops, the angas, the bodily angas are developed at certain right, right time at right age, it brings out. So by then you're already trained. Oh, such kind of desires are going to come. Now, how to handle that? You know, to negate, you should know, you should learn to how to handle those things. Negation is not a positive direction. That's what Prabhupada actually brings out in his purport. That negating the desires is not the right process. Utilizing the desires in the right place and for right objective is the process. Of course, Krishna says the both growth processes. What is that? Sloka? That Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Deinaha Rasavarjam Rasmapesya. Rasam Varjam Rasmapesya. In spite of there is a taste, you will be able to give up the taste if you take up Vishaya Vinivartante. Vinivartante, you'll be able to give up. Niraharasya Deina. Niraharasya means self-imposed restrictions. So this is the process Krishna explained. But further Krishna says, if you can see the higher taste, automatically you'll give up. No need even self-restriction also. So in the Vedic society, that it is everything educated. From very childhood, everything is educated. He's not educated, the sex is bad. Because by the way, sex is not bad. Sex life is not bad. Like today, so to say, spiritualists also say, no, sex life, don't keep it aside. Sex life is keep it aside. No, sex life is not bad. A pavitra kam. You just see that how much is glorified the sex between Kardamuni and Mother Devumuni. How much glorified. It is said that all the siddhas, all perfected beings started glorifying. The very act of sex is not something has to be condemned, something has to be not talked about. No, it is a glorious act because it is arrangement made by the Lord Himself for the purpose of giving an opportunity to conditioned soul to accept a body. Especially, it is highly glorious. in human beings, because the human life has the greatest opportunity to revive his consciousness and go to back to God. So, in the Gurukula system, it is not presented it as sex is something taboo, both in English taboo. It should not be talked about. So, even in our Hindu temples, sex is, that you see that, in fact, Prabhupada writes in one of the Bhagavatam Purport, the Kama Shastra is meant, the Kama Shastra, the very purpose of Kama Shastra is how to produce good children. That is the purpose of Kama Shastra, Prabhupada says. How to produce good progeny. But today, everything is taken in a perverted way, including knowledge is taken in a perverted. The knowledge presented. The knowledge is given to change the pervert minds. But the pervert minds are converting the knowledge into for their own sadhak, for their own this thing. So that's what Prabhupada says, even a grihastha ashram matter. One who, however, one follows the rules and regulations in married life. Having sexual relationship only with his wife. And that also under regulation. He is also called a brahmachari. So grihasthas also brahmacharis, and only in the bhakti moment. Such kind of license is given only in bhakti process, not in yoga process, not in jnana process. Not in yoga process, not in jnana process. Only in the process of bhakti, even a grihastha is considered. Why? That is the highest principle Prabhupada brings out of this purport. What is that? The perfection of desires may be achieved when one desires to serve the Lord. The perfection of desires may achieve one desires to serve the Lord. And the Lord is also desirous that every living entity banish all personal desires and cooperate with his desire. I say. So the bhakti process, given an opportunity to devote all your desires in service of them. What is the service? Krishna made such kind of arrangement. Krishna is empowering Brahma at this point of time. Krishna empowering Brahma with the responsibility of filling the living entities in this vacant universe. It is the Lord's desire, it is not Brahma's desire. To bringing the living entities to this world. Lord's desire. Why not desire like that? Because his expansions, Amsha, desire to come here. So Krishna is facilitating. That's also Prabhupada writes here how sometime, Father facilitates. Even though, like here, analogy is used. In another place, Prabhupada said, analogies are used for the common man to understand. Because common man, it is very difficult to comprehend for him to understand the tattvic, philosophical subject matter, little difficult for him to comprehend. That's why analogies are presented so that common man easily grasp. What analogy? That whatever is in his world, what he is able to perceive. So what is the analogy Prabhupada has given here? A drunkard analogy. Drinking is not good. But he goes keep going and asking, no, you have to supply. That he will supply with a regulated way. What is that supply? Wherever, only in a shop which is regulated as a medicine. Only this many ml quantity. You will give in a prescription. So likewise, Lord also made such kind of arrangement in this world. Even though sense gratification is not beneficial for the soul. But still, this world of sense gratification is created with God for the purpose of reforming. So it's Lord's plan. Now, a devotee who is already serving the Lord, so if he wanted to utilize his tendencies in the service of the Lord by progeniting another devotee who can whom he can bring up as a devotee, so that is a glorious. So this kind of arrangement is possible only in Bhakti Marga, not in Jnana Marga. Jnana Marga, they said that desires of is bad, not desires. But desire is the component of soul. The Prabhupada explains this, but desire is a symptom of life. A dead person will not have desires. It's a symptom of life. So how can you negate? You are negating means you are inviting death. So this is the Bhakti school mentioned. Yes. So this is the way we should understand this subject matter. That we are fortunate that we have such a great personality. Is very dear to Krishna, dearmost to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, who is Brahma's representative, this succession, and what Brahma is presenting here about the Lord, same subject matter presented to us, and we are fortunate to be taken understood, or Prabhupada is taken as in he's protecting us in his shelter. It's not even a question. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Without being devotees, we should not have material desires. But what happens still without a material desires? And it is said, whatever devotees desire, Krishna makes a note of it and eventually fulfills it also. So, like we have desire 1, 2, 3, like daily, like a number of desires are there. But suppose after that we become purer and we feel, Krishna, I don't want all the desires actually, but as whatever I was desiring. So just try to understand, will all the desires be really fulfilled? Then I will be taken back, or like that can be ignored also by Krishna at future.
No, when we surrendered, when we are progressing in Krishna consciousness, he will decide what desires he wants you to accomplish for his mission. Like Prahlad Maharaj, not Prahlad, sorry, Dhruv Maharaj. When he asks what you want, he says, I don't want anything. Varam yache, I don't want to ask anything. Why? Kritartha, I'm already satisfied. But prayer, he was actually came with the desires. Now Krishna made a note of it. That's how Krishna came. He made a note that he wanted Rajya, he wanted kingdom bigger than his father. All that note. But now he got purified. He progressed in his Krishna consciousness. He got completely purified. Now he's completely satisfied. Paramnayacha, you don't want to ask anything in. But Krishna is saying, no, you should enjoy. I'm giving the kingdom bigger than your father. Because his father is emperor. Father, emperor of the earth. So bigger than his father means he has to give one more planet. He created one more planet, or Dhruva planet. It is now in this world at par with Vaikuntha. At par with Vaikuntha, because there's no material remunerations there. Why? Not that he asked, and not that he marked it. That's all. No, Krishna like to accomplish his mission through his devotees. through chosen devotees. So Dhruva Maharaj, such a glorious devotee, he was chosen by the Lord to rule the kingdom. Like, for example, even Kardam, such an exalted personality. He doesn't have any design. He got married for thousands of years. He's doing bhajana, he's doing bhakti. But see, again, some no instigation is not the right word. It's a prayer, prayer. Because Lord wants to appear as Kapladev. Lord wants to appear. So if Lord has to appear, and he has already said, I want to appear with such pure devotees house. So he's not interested at all. Kardama is not interested at all. So now in him, passion has to be erupted. See, because the process in this world is that husband wife मिलन होना जरूरी है बच्चों को पैदा करना. That is the process Lord only said. Now he is not interested to meet his wife, and his wife is also like that only. She is also great devotee. She is also assisting. So Krishna has given remembrance to her. You asked, no? Ask. You wanted child, no? You asked her husband. So he goes and asks. He goes, you told to my father that you'll be get a child. Now he also felt compassion. You see how the whole situation. So Krishna, even though a devotee is not interested in the subject matter, but still Krishna inspires, not instigate, sorry, that inspires for his mission. And that is a glorious act. That will become glorious act. So you and me have so many desires. Mostly these all are coming from the contaminated consciousness. Most of the desires are coming from contaminated consciousness. What is the difference between desire coming from directly coming from the Atma self or coming from the contaminated consciousness? You wanted to experience a pleasure. The pleasure is coming through contaminated consciousness, that you give a definition of how the pleasure should be experienced. You give definition how that pleasure should be experienced. And what basis you give definition? Based on the material point of view. So the contaminated consciousness. So that is coming, the desire is coming, but what is the desire? You can be happy only in the service. Because there is a constitutional position. But you say, no, I want to be happy in this way, other than service. And what is that? Associating with the material energy. And what is the problem in that? Material energy bites. So dhyayate vishyanpumsa sangaste shobhayate sanga sanjayate kama kama krodha abhijayate krodha sammoha smriti brahma buddhinasha pranashyati. So any desire is processed through contaminated consciousness leads to fall down. Pranashyati. Fall down में दलदल में गिर जाएगा. दलदल में गिरेगा तो क्या होगा? More deeper जाता ही रहेगा. So desire can be expressed. So whatever desires we all have, it is all expressed through contaminated consciousness at this point of time. But what we are learning in Guru, under the Guru's direction, is to purify this contaminated consciousness. When you keep purifying the contaminated consciousness, because the consciousness becomes purified, more and more we become Krishna consciousness, our desire also channelized to our constitutional position. What is the constitutional position? We experience pleasure in giving pleasure. We experience pleasure by giving pleasure, not by taking pleasure. Not by taking pleasure. Our pleasure is not in taking, but our pleasure is in actually. So when we become purified, even though it is noted, and he is getting noted, okay, what all the things, तो खत्म हो गया तो हाँ कुछ बचा है आप में वही भी खत्म कर लो. So that is the kind of opportunity Lord is giving for all the neophytes. It's called sadhana bhakti. So we should not be fearful that no, Lord has today I decide, Lord made a point. Tomorrow if that comes in front of me, मैं संभाल नहीं पाऊंगा. चिंता मत कीजिए. No, Krishna will never allow you to do such kind of service where you cannot handle. He'll never allow you to do service. Like Dhruva Maharaj, he told, no, you should rule the kingdom. Krishna knows that. He is a Parama Bhakta. Dhruva Maharaj is Parama Bhakta. He never get again contaminated. That's how he is given. So he never allows, he never gives such kind of service to us where we will not be able to handle. Excellent. It's clear.
Furthermore, example, three things. One is just now what you said. Furthermore, was given that service or that inspiration. So, like then again, fear comes. Okay, Lord should not give us that kind of inspiration.
See,
And
no, what is that? What is that? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says last sloka of
after sure,
Asli Shiva Padata Pinastuma. Asli Shiva. Asli Shiva. You want to embrace me? Adarata Pinastuma. You want to trample me under your foot. Both are okay. But we should not speculate. Maybe it's Lord's desire for me to get married. Maybe it's Lord's desire for me to do this so and so. We should not. Even such kind of desires comes, we should know why our conditioning effect is all coming from my contaminated consciousness. Even though some things come from contaminated consciousness, as long as we are under the shelter of Guru, as long as we are obeying the orders of Guru, as long as we are guided by Vaishnavas, even such kind of anarthas will get purified. So one should not live in fear. One should not live in fear. I will write one now. This thing that how devotees become free from vigata bhi. The beautiful sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam about fear, how devotees should be free from. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatasya is in the 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 37th sloka. Bhayam dvitiya abhiniveshatasya isha apetasya viparyayo smritihi tan mayaya to buddha avajektam bhaktaika isham. Bhakti eka isham. Bhakti, bhaktya eka isham. Isham means the Supreme Personality of God. Bhakti eka, only the bhakti, the devotional service only unto the Supreme Personality of God. Devotional service unto only the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Guru Deva said here, fear arises when the living entities misidentify himself as a material body because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. Vayam dvitiya abhiniveshata. Abhiniveshata means absorption. Absorption in what? Dvitiya. Dvitiya means Dvitiya, second. That is Lord, other than from the Lord. A person is getting absorbed other than from the Lord. Other than from the Lord means material energy. So he also forgets his own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord when that fear comes. Therefore, this bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency of illusion called Maya. Now the conclusion is Tan Maya to Buddha Abhijetam Bhaktya Eka Ishu Gurudeva. The conclusion is, therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and as his very life and soul. And I said, Guru Deva Atma. Atma means very own life and soul. Guru Deva Atma. In what he has to accept? In Bhakti Eka Isham. for the purpose of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means we should serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead under the able guidance of the spiritual master who should become, who is very life and soul for us. Then this fear will not be there. Then
This one is Prabhu. Generally, in the Kadamuni example, it's cited in different way. So today we heard first time the different angle that he was doing tapasya, he was busy in bhakti, then the desire Lord planted in his heart. And
actually, in fact, by the direction of Brahmaji, his father, he did tapasya. Lord appeared in front of him. Tell me what you want. And Lord loved the Padma so much, you know that. Loved so much. By seeing his bhakti, his eyes. Whose eyes? Lord eyes. And that Bindu, the tears fell and became form of Bindu Sarovar. Just imagine how great Kardamuni was. How great devotee Kardamuni were. Lord himself, with the he got the so ecstatic feeling by seeing his devotee. And now, please tell me what you want. And Lord Vishnu is asking, Lord Krishna is asking, like how he asked Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj said, I don't want anything. I'm very satisfied. But here is saying, please provide me a good girl to get married. Who is asking? Karnam. Why? Because he was he was he was ordered by Brahma and is presenting it. And how he presented, not so only. I know what I'm asking is no, not at all correct. You see that those prayers when Lord appeared, the Kardamani prayers very nicely. He says that it is the influence of the external energy, even to desire like that. Even to desire like that, desire is influence of external energy. But I am so fallen. I'm asking you this because my father wanted me to. He has given some responsibilities, and those responsibilities I can fulfill only by your mercy. Without your, on how many years? 1,000 years he did the mercy to fulfill the desire of his father's, to fulfill father's desire and the responsibility. And the Lord awards. Okay. Now he says also, Manu is going to come, he's going to bring his daughter, and you're going to get married, and I am going to prepare your son. Everything he says. Or in spite of that, in spite of all that, he is so much engaged in devotional service, he forgot that. Then again, Lord inspired. Beautiful pastor, actually. If you see the Romanchika, yeah.
then how to see it? Because now this is the thing is he expanded himself in the 9 forms and he had the relations. So
It's a beautiful, beautiful description.
how to see that feels like materialism.
Prabhupada explains, very eager to bring the Lord. First of all, he is a Shuddha Sattva. Is it? Is it? Shuddha Sattva. Shuddha Sattva person will not have any materialism. Okay. Now to beget children, to beget the children,